Okay, everybody. So this one is about booking and how to book cold, how to close on deals, all that good stuff. Um, this episode is basically what we're going to do is kind of take you guys through the journey of our process that we use to book gigs, and when it comes to cold calls and doing the really uncomfortable stuff that nobody really likes to do. Unless you do have a passion for sales, um, you gotta. If you really do have a passion for sales, then you don't have a problem with rejection. Ultimately, that's what it comes down to. And it's also a volume game. Been listening to a guy, Alex Hormozy, lately, and I would definitely suggest for any of you entrepreneur type minded people, if you have a passion just for being an entrepreneur, he's definitely somebody I would steer you to. He's been very inspiring. I've really only been listening to him for about a week, maybe 2 weeks, and it's very inspiring stuff. And he talks about basically creating something from nothing, starting from zero, and his ups and downs. But anyways, getting back to what this podcast is all about, or what this episode is about. We really did want to take you guys on the ride with us and show you the process that we use when we are booking gigs. And we have a certain pay scale that we kind of abide by, because if you ask for too much, you can really alienate the people. There's not anything wrong with asking for a decent sized number, but you also have to, you have to know where you're trying to book yourself. If you're booking yourself at like a local watering hole, a lot of those places, they won't pay more than $400. So, anyways, you got to really know your market, because if you go around trying to, for example, if you establish yourself with a place at one price, and then maybe your career starts doing a little bit better a couple years down the road, if you think that it's a good idea to try to squeeze more money out of that place because you have some kind of you think you're growing in status or something, I would say that that's a really good way to alienate an existing partner. And I think that that's a good way to look at these establishments. Don't put yourself in an employee mindset. Like, come in and look at yourself as you're an entrepreneur. You're a business. And what you're doing is you're piggyback marketing with another business so that both of you can do better, right? And that's a partnership. So something I've been doing lately with the places that I've been booking is figuring out ways that I can be a better partner for the establishment that I'm serving. And I'm still playing with ideas, but one of the ideas that I've been playing with, and I'm saying this because you guys are more than welcome to take these ideas. The reason why I'm doing that, I started this podcast. I know I'm kind of reiterating a lot of stuff that I've done in the past, but the reason why I'm going to be a little bit redundant, repetitive, is that my audience is growing, and I've got good news. We are officially going to be being put on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Audible. I finally got my Podbean account set up. Finally got everything set up. Finally got my MP3 situation figured out. Got my logo figured out. I had to send my logo over to a friend. She put it in Photoshop. Got the DPI up. And it was like literally the logo was the thing that was holding the whole thing back. So, anyways, like I said, I am growing this channel, And to all you listeners out there, new listeners, you know, if you don't know already, my podcast is based on the micro music business and how to stay independent and be an entrepreneur and work for yourself and all that good stuff. So ultimately, it's about the micro music business and how to get yourself in the top 10%. I don't really focus on the macro side of it, which is the 1%. And if you go back into my old YouTube channel podcasts, you can you know, hear all that stuff. But just to kind of reiterate, you know, for new listeners, where I'm coming from is I want to give this information out for free. I'm not trying to hoard the information, and I'm not coming off. I don't want to come off as like I'm some sort of know-it-all. I am trying to implement these ideas. If I come, like I said, if I come up with an idea, you guys are gonna see me implement that idea. If I'm putting it out here in podcast world, it's because this is a way for me to hold myself accountable. You know, you want to get goals done, you know, do this, announce what you're going to do, because if you announce it and then you don't follow through, you look like a loser. And, you know, I didn't decide to do podcasting just so I could look like a loser to an entire audience. Nobody's going to listen to a loser. So I'm trying to show you guys how to win, and you know, just basically by listening to yourselves. There's nobody else out there. You know, you have to pretty much come up with all the ideas. You know, you got to be a one-man army or one person army, however you want to look at it. So, anyways, I just wanted to say thank you to the podcast world out there now for listening, and this is going to be a really cool episode because it gives me a chance to really put my sales ideas and my sales tactics to use. I get to show you guys, maybe you guys pick up some, you know, tips along the way. You want to utilize any ideas that I'm putting out there. That's kind of what this is all about, is to give you guys ideas to keep you out of artistic ruts, to keep you out of, you know, artistic depression, I would say, to keep coming up with micro goals, to keep yourself being propelled and moving forward. And even if you're doing it in small ways, that's progress, you know. Those little steps add up after a year. But for now, I wanted to make a video based on booking and how to book gigs. If you're new to cold calling, this is really kind of a cold call video. I wanted to show you guys in real time what it looks like to call places in different towns that don't know you. Also, just utilizing all your other, you know, basically all your other little streams through friends and family. Whenever you play a gig, you know, are you inspiring other people to come up to you and hire you? That's something that happened to us just a few weeks ago. We played one of our basically kind of our home gigs, and it's called The Schooner down in Netarts. And we play there once every few months, and we've been doing that for years. Well, some friends of the bass player and his girlfriend, friends of theirs, they have a venue just in another town that's really close to there, and they wanted to hire us, and so we gave them our information, and we contacted them last week. It was probably just probably 4 or 5 days ago, like less than a week ago, and we got very good response, and it looks like we're getting the gig. But I wanted to show you guys how to book a gig from what I would call a lay down to an absolute cold call, and some of the processes that we're going through in real time to show you guys, like, this is what it looks like, and this is what we're doing, and this is some of our strategic plans that some of our strategies that we use. So I will just get to it. So last week I decided to cold call a place down in Southern Oregon. I won't name the name of the place. And we got an email back. And I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of background on the story here. I decided that I wanted to call this one specific place because I liked the name of the place, ultimately. But when I looked into it, they had funk and soul bands that were playing there. So I was like, okay, great fit. So that's the first thing I want to tell you guys, is that I didn't just go with a place that was, some sort of heavy metal place or mainly a rock place. I saw that they had my style of music. Okay, so it's an appropriate cold call. So that's the first thing. And then when I cold called, to be honest with you, in a way I kind of screwed up, because I didn't mean to, but I called right about 11:30 noon, and you usually don't want to call an establishment at lunchtime. But for some reason, I was just in go mode, and I wasn't really paying attention to the clock. Well, the good thing for me is that Candace, the person who answered, she didn't seem very busy, and she was very nice and very helpful. And she gave me all the information I needed to get a hold of the booking person to book the club. And I kind of stopped for a second, and I just told her how much I appreciate her. I was like, wow, you're extremely nice and helpful. And it's just something that I'm not really used to, especially when you're doing cold calls. And she was so exceptionally nice that I just had to let her know. And she was like, oh, thank you. Well, I kind of feel like that's my job. My name is Candace, and I'm the owner. Now, I was completely blown away, because usually you just don't get, I don't know. There's a lot of nice owners out there, but I'm just saying, this just felt like, oh my gosh, wow, you're the owner and you're giving me the time of day. So anyways, she passed me off onto her booking person. And so we put in an email to that person, and we got an email back. And I have not read that email yet, because I wanted to show you guys, this is what it is in real time. Okay, so I'm going to read that email to you guys, and we're going to take this ride together, see if I got, accepted or rejected here. So here we go. So he says, we annually take July off from booking music at the Talent Club. The summer activities are around here, and festy season are too much competition. I use that time for renovations and get back to it in August. Unfortunately, the first 2 weekends of August are booked as well. Thanks for reaching out, and feel free to send me later dates if you are routing through again. So that's what we're going to do, because sometimes things don't quite line up, but I am going to hit them back, and I'm going to let them know that we do want some later dates, because we live here in Oregon, and that's what we're about. So to be continued on that, but that's pretty cool, because you guys are seeing that it's not just always a lay down. Even the ones that seem like lay downs, it's not always a lay down. So we're going to keep plugging away, and I'm going to keep showing you guys how to book and how to cold call. So stay tuned, and we'll get an email typed up and send it back to these guys, and we'll just keep showing you guys the process. All right, talk to you soon. So we're here today. We're talking about booking, and we're talking about our process of how we book, and we wanted to kind of show you guys in real world time what that process looks like. So what I did was I contacted a place, I cold called a place up in Spokane, Washington. And just for out of respect, I'm going to keep the company names out of it. I just don't want to, since we're doing this like all together at the same time, it's like I have to be very careful about releasing information. So anyways, bottom line, I cold called this place in Spokane, Washington. The person gave me the contact information to email, and I talked Aaron into sitting down and helping me do the emails, because I personally don't like to do the email part of this. It's pretty boring to me, and so what I do is I try to make it a little bit more fun, and I drag somebody along in the muck with me, because
the fact that I can type really good.
yeah, and so it's something that she kind of likes to do. So I'm utilizing a strength of hers, which is good. And so other than that, so like if you're like me and you don't really enjoy doing stuff like that, like drag somebody along with you to and help have them help you do it, make it fun. So as I was trying to find the email for Aaron, I couldn't find the email. And she's like, oh, well, I'll just look it up. And as she was looking it up, I found it. And we compared the two emails. And what we found was the person on the other end of the phone gave me the wrong email. And it was off by like a couple letters. It was just wrong. It was close, but it was wrong. So that would have sent me down the wrong rabbit hole. And Erin was smart enough to just go, I'm just going to look it up. And so she went to the website. And so I don't know if that was a deterrent, I don't know, because I never know with people and places, sometimes people don't like to do their jobs. Sometimes people, I don't know, maybe they don't want outside bands coming into their town. I don't know. There's always some sort of bias that's attached. When we're dealing with people are biased, whether it's good or bad, works out in your favor or not. So it's things like that. You got to go back and really double check on things. And so luckily, Erin was wise enough to do that, and so now we're moving forward, and she's going to type an email for me. I tend to kind of like to let her know how I want the email, what I want the email to say, and then she just types it out and dictates it for me. So it's pretty good deal for me.